have found the net. Goal for Wednesday.
Terrific goal by Sheffield.
Chris Waddle, is he going to have a crack?
Oh, he does, and scores! Still Glenn Wheeler! Hayden Flynn works the Is there time for a winner?
You cannot deny that the performance was much, much better. You could say it was chalk and cheese from last week, but it ends all the same. Defeat once again, but at least we got the chance to celebrate a few goals this time. Hello and welcome to the Wednesday Till I Die Podcast. I'm James Mappin. Alongside me is part-timer Matt Johnson. Matt, how's it with me? You all right?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. All good. All good. Just
good.
Just wildly depressing, isn't it? Just having to score 4 goals at home to win a game of football.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, we have to take the positives. We did score 2. We did jump up. We did actually at one point think, oh my God, we are going to win a game of football. But we'll get onto that in a bit. Matt, what do you think of this nice little fetching Christmas jumper that I'm sporting? For those audio listeners, it is the classic football shirts offering of the 95 to 98 little Carboni special. Looks all right, doesn't it, Matt?
It's a beautiful jumper. It's going to get hot in 2.5 hours worth of recording.
Yes, yeah. This 2-pinter could be going over the head in a bit just to cool me down. Or you'll try and see me trying to take my jumper off whilst you're talking mid flow, and I'll probably not hear a word you're saying, and it could be an absolute nightmare. All I'll say is, if you've ever tried to take your jumper off in the car when you're driving, don't. That's another one for you. That's another top tip. Right. I want to say a huge thanks to Lemsip for sponsoring this podcast. Your continued support throughout the week has been absolutely remarkable. I will be hitting the mute button again. This man flu, my God, it is an absolute killer, Matt. It is. It's been going on for so long. Have you caught it yet?
No, everybody takes the piss about man flu until they get man flu, and everyone's like, oh, is it that man flu again? And then you get it and you think, oh my world, the world's ending. Like, I'm never going to see the light of day ever again, etc. Yeah, it's horrible. No, I haven't. My son, however, as a 5-year-old, has caught his first case of it today.
Wow.
Oh, mate, was he feeling very pathetic and sorry for himself. He's in a bad way today. He's in a real bad way.
So bad that he didn't even pick up any Lego today, was it?
No Lego. He actually took a nap in the middle of the day as well. Wow. My goodness me, what a day I've had. And then he come downstairs. He didn't want to eat his dinner, so I got that. So I'm thrilled.
Oh, wow.
I'm thrilled. I've had another pizza this evening. That was a delight. Apart from that, mate, all good. Yeah, all good.
All good. I mean, I just want to give a few shout-outs as well. Now, the first one, I do apologise. I last week, totally forgot. I mean, in the excitement, which was the Steel City Derby, of course, totally forgot to do this one. So apologies to Sam and Harry, all the way from New Zealand as well. Sam was over for the Derby last week. Apparently, it wasn't planned to come over for that game, but I feel like he was bullshitting me. Like, because I'm not being funny. Like, you don't just happen to come over from New Zealand and there be a Steel City Derby. But anyway, that's what he told me. But nice to know I've got people from the other side of the world that do listen. I know we've got a few in Australia as well. So we're taking over the world now. Australia, New Zealand. I don't think we'll be getting that listener from Thailand anymore.
I don't know if you've heard, James, we are massive. I don't know if you've heard, Sheffield Wednesday are massive. Massive club. Capital M, capital A.
I mean, you've set me off now.
Sorry, man.
Sorry, I also met up with Ollie as well, one of the Patreon members, inadvertently just before kick-off. When I was talking to him as well, another bloke came over and said, look, this is where I'm going to get it totally wrong, because I did write Sam and Harry's name down on my phone, because I was like, I'm going to write it down because I'll forget. What I actually was just forget to mention him, not let alone mention the name. Now this one, I was like, I'm going to remember his name. I want to say it's Chris. If you're listening, Chris, I mean, it might not even be you, it might not be you, but if you had a chat to me, then there you go. That's your little shout out. He did say Ugbo was going to score on yesterday. He was also holding a pint in his hand. I did question him. how many pints he had already had before he made that statement, and he did say he'd had quite a few. So I do.
To be fair, I've been there. I've made the same mistake as well. QPR away last year, 4 beers in. Today's the day. It's fucking happening. Today's the day. And not only did he not score, I didn't get in to see it if he had scored, so who gives a shit?
Exactly. I mean, to be fair, we'll get onto it in a minute, but like pre-kickoff, I wish I'd have had a few beers because I wasn't feeling very optimistic whatsoever. Look, what do I know about football? I just want to say as well, if you do want to head over to Patreon, patreon.com/WTID pod, you mentioned how like you're just feeling a bit deflated and stuff. That is going to be one of the topics. Like, has the positivity bubble burst already? If we're just kind of a mere 4.5, 5 weeks into the whole administration process, because it did feel remarkably flat, certainly pre-kickoff anyway, and then obviously what happens in the game, but yeah, we'll be talking about that. So patreon.com/WTID pod. There's actually get 2 months free as well, Black Friday offer. Just go on to X. I've not got the link. Go on to X. There's a link there. Just find it, and it's still valid, so you can fill your boots on that one. Right, let's actually get talking about football then, instead of shout outs, and we'll be on Cameo next. Anyway. We won't, by the way. I will not.
That'd be a fucking depressing cameo, wouldn't it? That'd be a fucking depressing cameo.
Who the fuck's buying that? That's what I would have questioned. Anyway, let's talk about the lineup. We always begin at the beginning. Horvath, Valerie, Otugbeo, Palmer, Fazier, Amas, Ingleson, Bannon, McNeil, Jamal Lowe, and Cadamarchi. So it was 3 changes. Out went Cooper, Iorfa and Max Lowe. Cooper clearly can't play 3 games in a week. Iorfa was suspended for picking up 5 yellow cards already this season, and Max Lowe looks to have picked up an injury as he wasn't in the match day squad. And as mentioned, Otugbeo, Palmer and Jamal Lowe all came in. Matt, I am going to be brutally honest. I thought we were going to be in for a hammering. An hour and 15 minutes before the actual the team came out, heading down, piss wet, like just pissing it down with rain, miserable. And then the team comes out, and I mean, I felt shit as well. And I was thinking, I actually sat in the car for a good half an hour thinking, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why don't I just
drive home?
Yeah, just drive home, not even bother. I mean, we are about an hour before kickoff here at this point, when it is just fucking battering it down with rain. I wasn't optimistic at all, and I think, I mean, if you were a fan that was optimistic, then I didn't meet you, because there wasn't many of them. I didn't see many people on the socials that were kind of optimistic. I mean, it's through no fault of our own, really. Just literally, it's the hand that we've been dealt in it in terms of players that are available. But I looked, and yeah, I mean, what were your thoughts, kind of, when you saw that lineup?
I think my concern was, like everybody else's, was defensively. Start with the positives. I was delighted to see Charlie Mcneill and Bailey Cadamarchi, because I thought at Millwall they were the 2 bright sparks. Like going forward, I thought we actually, although it wasn't the most sparkling attacking performance against Millwall, I thought that the pair of them had done enough to keep the place. But I just didn't see how we kept the ball out the net, is the honest answer with looking at that. We had 1 recognised centre-back, and that centre-back, let's be completely honest here, hasn't inspired the most confidence in their appearances in a blue and white shirt to date. There's nothing against Gabe Otugbeo. He needs a partner. We've seen the benefit of having somebody who is perhaps more of a traditional head it and kick it centre half in someone like, that's how I would class Gabe Otugbeo. He is comfortable with the ball at his feet to a point, but he's much more a sort of get your body in the way type of centre half. That's at least what he feels like to me. He needs a partner, and every time that we've seen him as without a partner, or seen him with a partner who is not a ball playing centre half, he's struggled, and that was my concern with looking at that lineup beforehand.
Did you think it was going to be a back 4? Because I certainly did when I saw it. When you're looking at it, I thought it was going to be, Otugbeo alongside Palmer, Fazeri and Amas being the fullbacks, with kind of Valerie playing in that midfield role as he normally has. And I didn't expect us to be playing a back 5 or back 3, whichever one you want to look at it, with Valerie slotted in there, I must admit.
Yeah, we spoke about it last week after the derby, didn't we? And there was a lot of kind of like emotion wrapped up in that post-game analysis. But there was also some conversation that we've had over the week in Discord surrounding... I was quite critical last week of Svante Ingelsson, and again, I'll get out in front of it. He was exceptional yesterday in large spells of the game, but that was because, as we'd mentioned in the week, James, about the fact that we felt that perhaps his position and his time in that forward line had maybe run its course, because teams were... He's very easy to prep for in terms of let him run down blind alleys all day, because he's not going to get a cross in. And especially if you show him on the left-hand side rather than the right, he really struggles and he always wants to come back. I thought moving him back into a central midfield position, in particular sitting in front of the back line, was really good. I also really like dropping Jan Valery back into defensive positions as well. I thought that was a very, very smart tactical move and approach from Henrik. Which
you mean actually playing a defender in defence? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I do, James. But again, it's very different to what we've seen since middle of September. Yeah. It was really good, and for all of the criticism that I gave Henrik last Sunday, I'm not too proud to say, oh my God, he doesn't deserve praise for this. He deserved praise for the way in which that he set the team up yesterday and the way that he set the team up at Millwall.
Yeah, I just looked at it for me, and I'm like, you don't change three of your defenders and have a good game. That's what I had in my head. All Cooper wasn't there. He was on the bench. Max Lowe wasn't even in the squad, and Iofa was suspended. So I was like, they talk about having a settled side and certainly a settled back line, and you're looking, and the only two that were ever present. All right, I know Valerie only had a position change, but you've just got your fullbacks, your wing backs. Sorry, that they're the only two players that have that are there from the game before. But yeah, I mean, I'm just mentioning him there. Max Lowe out with an injury. I mean, Henrik didn't say in the post match kind of how bad it was. He didn't get pulled into actually revealing that, or he didn't even say what it was that he picked up. I mean, if he is out for a considerable amount of time, that'll be a huge blow, because I think he's just been Mr. Consistent. I don't think he's had an 8 or a 9 performance. He's had a solid... Well, he's had 7 or 8s kind of every game. He's not really made any, if not many, or if any mistakes. I don't think. And I think he's just been that steady Eddie really at the back, which you need.
Yeah, James, I agree with you. I think since he's walked in the door, he has been consistently one of our top 3 performers, and he often goes unnoticed because of how consistent he is and because of how there's zero fuss to it, is there, with Max Lowe? Like,
you shouldn't be talking about your centre back, should you? Really, like, no. If you think about it, they shouldn't be in the limelight. They should just deal with it, and then they're not going to be making loads of assists. Just deal with the danger and pass it to someone that can do something with the ball. And I think he just does that to a plumb, to be fair. I mean, he's actually all right going forward, to be honest. He's not too bad.
No, I agree with you, James. I think if you were to play him as a ball-playing centre-half in a back 3, and you had to, like an Ernie Weaver... Oh, I think that's that time when we had that young man. Like an Ernie Weaver and, say, a Liam Cooper at the side of him... I think if you had him as a ball-playing centre-half to start attacks, I think that would work really, really well. I think he has been, since he walked into the club last year, one of our top 3 performers that we've had over that, 18 months or however long it's been. He is a truly huge miss if it is long-term. If it is you will feel, and we will feel that effect for a long, long time if he is out for an extended period of time.
Can't have Alt though, can we? Cannot have Alt nice at all. Before I talk about the kind of our overall thoughts, I just want to get in the comments. Darren Peace says, we are massive. Yep, 100% agree on that one. Envious Stoke says, any news on a bidder? No idea whatsoever. Let's just wait and see what the administrators tell us is all I'm going to say on that one. James says, evening guys, views on what Simon has put regarding admin being liars. Again, absolutely. Like, I just want to. There's a lot of comments in here about Simon and what Simon said. Look, that's up for him to deal with. Whatever he's saying on social media is absolutely nothing to do with the podcast. I just want to say as well, yes, Simon did come on the podcast. That was like way back, like how many months ago? Quite a few months ago now, when just after the fans forum, weren't it, I think, or not too long after. And yes, we have had him on a few times. I felt like he gave some at the time some information that people wanted. I will say as well, I don't think, well, he won't be coming on the podcast. I don't think the things that he's saying is of any use to anyone. Like the stuff he's saying on socials, he can just keep it on socials and people can listen to it or not listen to it, is my advice. To be fair, I think that's my advice on all this kind of in the know stuff. Just, if you want to listen to it, great. If you don't want to listen to it, also great. Like, make up your own mind up, when it comes to all that sort of stuff.
I think, James, just adding to that, because I was the person who obviously interviewed Simon, again, there is 100%, I would argue, at the original time when Simon came on, there was 100% a need for somebody to spark the level of conversation that was had during those debates as a wider fan base surrounding the previous owner. As time's progressed, I mean, especially since the new administrative team have come in, I'm in no position to be able to comment because I don't know. I can't back things up with multiple different sources because that is previously how I can only speak for myself in terms of the information that we've spoken about before, and we've spoken about it multiple times, and this is, giving a little peek behind the curtain to me and you, James, isn't it? Anything that we've spoken about before, we have given at least 2 independently verified sources because that seems to be the rule that national journalists use. So if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me, and it's good enough for you. So if it can be independently verified by 2 other people, that's absolutely fine. I'm happy to run with something until it can. I can't back things like that's just, and that's again with the discussions that are going off on socials. I've got no idea what's been said. I've been off X pretty much all day today. Because I haven't spoke about this publicly, but I've decided since the previous owner has left that actually I'm going to take a break from all of that, because I've realised I can only speak about myself here, James. I've given up an awful lot of time away from my family to do as much as I can in terms of removing the previous owner. I've got a platform, you've been kind enough to obviously offer me a platform on this, so I've used it. It's taken over my life for 11 months, all hours of the day. I've decided to take a step away and back from that because it was doing no good for me, my mental health, to be completely honest, and it was doing no good for my family.
Yeah, totally get that as well. And I only went on, I've been off X as well mostly. I went on just before we came on, and I think, there's been a few DMs that have been shared apparently. But anyway, people can go and have a look at that if they want to go and look at that. We'll talk about some more football. We'll get just some more people in here. Duncan asks if he can take our next penalty. I'll give you Henrik's number, Duncan, if you want to give him a bell, and you might be able to get a word in. Lola's Lolo is in the house. We've got Wawa 1867 says evening. Steve's in here. Joel's in here. Daz is asking what the fuck are you wearing. It's a Christmas jump. I know it's not. Look, maybe I've gone a little bit early. I've got the Christmas decorations are up in our house. I've got the Christmas jumper on. There's not many chances to wear it between now and Christmas. Certainly not on the podcast anyway. But yeah, right. Let's get into some actual football chat then. I'm going to hold my hands up, Matt, when I talk about the game as a whole. As I mentioned with the starting lineup, I had written us off before a ball had even been kicked. For reasons that I've already mentioned, the starting lineup didn't help either. No Cooper, no Max Lowe. Otto Bayo, when he's played, he hasn't been great, if we're being perfectly honest. However, from the off, I was put firmly back in my box, Matt. I thought we made an excellent start. Obviously, once again, we didn't really perhaps take our chances and could have been 3-1, 4-1 at half time. And obviously then we have the penalty in the second half as well. I mean, look, I don't think Preston were great, but I also think that we just surprised them. I think they thought they were going to come in and it was absolutely steamrollers and it'll be an easy win and they're just going to come in, take 3 points and walk away. And I think some of the changes that we made, the fact that we played a totally different side, really, when you look at Ingelsson playing in a different role, Barry Bannon playing a lot further forward, having kind of a 3-pronged attack as well that we've never not seen for quite some time. I think Preston just didn't know how to deal with it, really. And I thought we humbled Preston in that first half, really. And but our inability to defend set pieces is one that's cost us. And then we have such a good performance I saw there was a 3-word match review from Millwall, and it said better but lost. And I feel like this is it was again better than Millwall, but we still lost again.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, James, as you've kind of alluded to there, that the change in role for a lot of our players sort of freed them up. We spoke about Svante Ingelsson. Jamal Lowe is another one who was exceptional in the first half yesterday. Harry Amass, you kind of know what you're going to get, but he was in a different role in the first half yesterday. It didn't seem like it was all on his own doing. For many weeks it's been Bannon and Amass, and if you stop those two, you stop us. Whereas yesterday, Charlie Mack, Sean Fassir, Jamal Lowe, Svante Ingelsson, Jan Valery got forward into attacking positions. Kanamatri was a nuisance. Should have scored, but he's a nuisance. There were so many yesterday who just seemed to throw caution to the wind. And as a Wednesday fan, Again, the manner in which we've lost the game is disappointing, especially from 2 set pieces and then basically you miss a penalty, they go straight up the other end and score. I can take it. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I can take losing that type of game because I can at least see we're having a go.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, of course.
Last week, I was so seething about last week, and it wasn't because we've lost the game 3-0. Okay, that's annoying. It was the manner in which that we've lost the game.
Yeah. I think we all know we should know going into this season that there's going to be a lot of defeats, and we are simply not good enough. Like I'm sorry to break that news to everyone, but we are not good enough. We don't have the depth in the squad. We can't change anything. There are going to be a lot of defeats. But as a football fan, all we ask for is what you've mentioned there: a bit of effort, a bit of hope as well, and something that you can take from the game. And I think it all comes with its own problems as well, though. The more they exert in one game, it kind of conversely affects the next game. I know they've got a week off, but they'll probably they'll be off today. They'll probably be off on Monday as well, and then and then they're in for a bit of light training Tuesday. They're not, some players might have a totally different schedule to everyone else. They might not be doing any of this sort of fitness work and things just to try and manage the players and get them to the next game. So it will be very interesting to know how much actual training that the players are doing. Certainly when it is a 3-game week. Last week, I bet they hardly even touched the ball in terms of any sort of training when you're playing Sunday, Wednesday in London as well, and then playing on Saturday, Saturday 3:00. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think you're right. Like there's certainly a lot of more positives to take, weren't there, from that game? And like you said, just the fact that we actually had a go and celebrated a few goals as well. Mental madness.
At home as well. At home, bonkers. Yeah, I think just to kind of wrap that point up, James, and just bring it back to what you were talking about there, because it is a really salient point. The idea that we as a fan base know that after 60 minutes, it's really Russian roulette and it's going to be backs to the wall because there just simply isn't the depth in the squad. I know we're going to get onto it to talk about kind of like the substitutes in a bit and a little later on. Look at the bench yesterday, and that's not a criticism on those players who are on that bench, by the way. It really isn't. Liam Cooper, experienced professional, come in, backs to the wall job, was without a club, trained with us, obviously then went away from the club and then has signed for the club. Nathan Redmond hasn't played football for 18 months. Otherwise, nicest will in the world, he wouldn't be at Sheffield Wednesday in the position that we're in. Ike Ugbo, again, irrespective of how you feel about him, hasn't scored a league goal since making the move permanent. After that, who are we talking about? Did we have 2 keepers on the bench yesterday?
No, we didn't. We did on that was Wednesday, weren't it?
We had 2 keepers on the bench on Wednesday. We had nicest will in the world, a bunch of kids who the manager has deemed it would be too harmful or they're not up to the level to be able to bring on and impact a game to an extended period of time. And we saw the potential downside to bringing them on in midweek is, there were lots of people wondering about what Baz said to Henrik at the end of the game. There seemed to be a little bit of a spat. Now, I would call it just that's a professional who's thinking we're 1-0 down away from home with a chance to get back in the game and you're making subs to actively, and this isn't criticism against those players, to actively weaken the team when chasing a game.
Yeah, just on that, I've been thinking about that, and myself and Ollie were talking about this before the kickoff yesterday. And Bannon says something like, I don't want any of it, or I don't want to hear it, or something like that at the end, and he kind of does a bit of that gesture, like as if to say, like, stop. My theory is that Henrik was just coming over and saying, "Oh, good game, Barry." Like the whole kind of well done, and he's probably thought, "Gaffer, fuck off!" Like we lost 1-0. It's shit. Like it's now 11. At that point, it was 11 games without a win.
Yep.
That was my theory. It's like when you've played bad yourself, and someone says, "Oh, you had a good game," and you think, "Well, no, I didn't." Like whether that's you being harsh on yourself, which I guess Barry Bannon would be that type of person.
His biggest critic, for sure.
100%. So having slept on it and having thought about it and watched it probably more times than you should, thinking that you're a professional lip reader, that's the sort of that's the conclusion that I've come to.
I think you aren't going to be far wider the mark there, James, because ultimately as well, everybody's played some level of competitive sport. Not obviously at anywhere near this level, but like somebody's played competitive level of sport. And if you've just lost a close game 1-0 and someone comes up and says, "No, unlucky," and you've hit keeper's made 2 great saves, you've hit the post, you've hit the bar, and you've still come away with nothing, and you've not won 11. Someone coming up to you and going, "Oh, do you know what? You played really well." No, fuck off. I didn't. I didn't do enough. You are if you have such high standards for yourself, I think that again, I have no problem with that whatsoever. And I think it was the same yesterday, James. I've got no problem with the way that the team performed, apart from set pieces and some key lapses in concentration, but to suggest that that's not going to happen because of the amount of football that this squad are being asked to play is nonsensical. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I suppose though we could have really had the game put to bed, couldn't we, with the chances that we've had?
Should have, yeah.
And yeah, let's talk about some positives. Let's get them positives out of the way first.
Yeah.
Millwall was a marked improvement on the Steel City derby. Yesterday was much better in terms of performance-wise than Millwall. I mean, I think we asked for a reaction. Well, I certainly did from last week, and you can't deny that the last 2 performances have just been much better, mainly just from an intent point of view. As in, the Millwall game. I know we're only here to talk about the Preston game, but the Millwall game, I think it was like the first minute, Ingelsson smashed into someone and gave away a free kick, and I was like, yes, like that he's clearly done that on purpose. Maybe not give the foul away, but he's like revved up to go like, right, you've just got to be 100 mile an hour from the off, and they did that. And I thought, again, to score a goal inside the first 5 minutes yesterday just showed how up for it they were. They were none of this letting them score in the first 10 minutes. It was our turn to do that, which, I just thought from a performance aspect, I've seen some comments earlier, someone said it's probably our best performance this season. I mean, trying to go back, you'd have to say that the win against Portsmouth was pretty good. But I know what they're saying, like certainly in recent weeks, just a much better improvement, really.
Yeah, for 60 minutes yesterday, certainly no one could argue that we were the better side through the hour mark, like we were. And I think, to be fair, Preston fans post the game obviously came out and said exactly the same. I think the Preston admin also said something similar of like never in doubt, with that gritted teeth emoji of like, oh shit, that was kind of harem scarum. Because I think if you're of a Preston persuasion, you are a top 6 side currently. Do I think that they're a top 6 side, and do I think they'll be there at the end of the season? No, I think that's probably a false position, much like we spoke about, the other side of the city being in a false position last week. But for 60 minutes, we were exceptional, and I think that's because we did something different, because we changed the way that we played, because we moved players, and this is where Henrik does deserve praise, where he got criticism last week. He's looked at the deck of cards that he's got, and he's gone, right, let's see how I can shuffle this and make it so that actually I've got players who are playing in positions that are more akin to their natural role. Because for the result that we got on against Portsmouth, were players playing in different positions, or playing in positions that weren't necessarily their normal position, and I think Portsmouth struggled to adjust to that. Since then, people have had a bank of evidence, 11 games, to be able to just go, well, this is going to be the side that plays, and this is where they're all going to play.
Yeah.
Whereas on Wednesday night against Millwall, the tactical setup was very different, and there were, 1 or 2 changes. Yesterday, it was markedly different in terms of the way that the way in which that we set up. I don't think anybody would have had Jamal Lowe playing in central midfield and picking up the ball in a left back spot on their bingo card yesterday. It was really, really well thought out up until the hour mark for sure yesterday.
Yeah, I think as well what he also did is gave Henrik a few other options, because let's not be around the bush here. It was the changes he made were all forced. Max Lowe's got an injury. He got told that Cooper can only play 15 or 10 minutes, and Iofa was injured. So he had to make the changes. And what I think it did do is the changes he made and where he played certain players, it made him probably think, actually, yeah, we can do this. So expect to see, if we've got those same 11 players available in another fixture, expect to perhaps see something similar, because I think it certainly worked well. You mentioned about him shuffling cards and things, and those are the players that he picked out. Well, fortunately for us, he took the Joker out and left him out of the pack. The Joker being, well, you can make up your own mind who the Joker is in this scenario. Hope your son or daughter is fine. Anyway, I want to talk about Ingelsson and Bannon. They switched. The Ingelsson playing in a much deeper role. I think for all his time at Sheffield Wednesday, he's been playing much further up, trying to be a bit of a nuisance and things, and almost like a Scandinavian Callum Patterson. I think that's probably fair to say. Yesterday, we were playing more in that kind of Will Volk's role, defensive midfielder, just in front of the back three. Kind of in the role that Valerie's been playing. Let's be honest. For me, it wasn't as much Ingelsson playing better in that position. For me, and I've been banging the drum for so long, and I know some other people have come out and said that, but Bannon playing deeper is better for the team. I want to see Barry Bannon playing further up the pitch. I feel, personally, as a team, we play much better with our most creative player in a position that can do more damage in. I mean, whether we can get the ball up to him is another story, but I think some of his creativity is much better on the edge of the box than it is on the edge of our box. And it meant that Bannon played further forward, and I think that kind of spooked Preston a little bit. They probably thought, Bannon's our danger man, but he spends half his time on halfway line, so you don't need to worry about him.
Yeah, correct. Because for the first 20-odd minutes, James, there was not an ounce of defending on show from either side, was there? It was fucking appalling. If you were Stuart Gray yesterday and you were watching that, you'd have been tearing your hair out, wouldn't you? Just coming back to your point about Ingelsson, I agree with you. I'll be honest, I don't know what Svante Ingelsson offers in more advanced positions at this level. I think that was shown by the fact that he really struggled to get in the side last year. He isn't a player who's full of guile. He isn't a player who's full of creativity. He's a very willing runner and somebody who will work very hard for the team. In this setup that we saw yesterday, he's a defensive midfielder. We played him there, and aside from the third goal, where he's out of position, it worked. As a result, as you say, that allowed Bannon to basically just be allowed to just be Barry Bannon and just let everybody get on with what they're doing at the back, stay forward, get on the ball in their half of the pitch, pin them back, allowing us to play with the freedom that we just simply haven't done so in recent weeks. When we did lose the ball in the first half, it was very often in Preston's final defensive third. They'd clear the ball, and guess what? We would be able to turn it over, recycle it, and we'd feed Bannon on the edge of the box. And he is able to then just dictate, be that kind of like orchestrator, much like we saw earlier on in the season at Wrexham, where he can just pick passes left and right and just keep the ball moving. Exactly what you want from him. What we saw last week was Barry Bannon running into left-back positions to try and cover for the left-back, for the left wing-back in terms of Harry Amass, because he's so far up the pitch. And we dropped into that again at the back end of the game yesterday. Bannon dropping wildly deep into the centre-half positions to try and start things. And it's easy to play against. I'd like to see us play more like we did in the first half in terms of just letting your best creative player just be further up the pitch. And if he doesn't get into a game, he doesn't get into a game. It is what it is. I
mean, Nathaniel Shalabar, let's just wait until he comes back from from injury, whichever millennium that one's going to be in. No, but he plays in that position, doesn't he? So what we're doing is we'll try Valerie there. We've tried Svante in there. Like next, against Blackburn, it might be someone else who we try in there as well. Like we're trying all these different combinations purely out of, just because we haven't got the players available, really. We don't have a squad big enough. We've got like one defensive midfielder in the whole squad, and he's on injury table, so he can't play. But then we're still trying to play that system with those types of players in it, just because I think it's more the other positions, really, not necessarily, or maybe it's just a bit of cover, just having someone in there to help out, because we don't have centre backs to play either. Like it's just an absolute shambles, isn't it? Like if you're playing Football Manager, you get the little stars for role ability. We're under like 1.5 star for every single role. That's probably a bit harsh on some of them, but we're not playing all the players in the positions that they would like to play in any normal circumstance, are we?
I do agree with what you're saying, James, but to go back to the point about Nathaniel Chalobah, because Nathaniel Chalobah technically is...
what's his name?
Nathaniel Chalobah turned into Jonathan Ross then for a second. There's a reference for the youngsters listening. I look at him, Nathaniel Chalobah, there we go. He's technically a very gifted footballer, and he is great when a side dominates possession. We aren't that. We haven't been that since coming back up to the division, let alone this time around. He was okay for the first 20 minutes against Leicester and then hasn't been seen since. Do I think that we would have more of the ball if he were in the side? Yes, I do. Do I think that he is the player that you need in a defensive midfield position from what we seem to concede if it's not a set piece, which is in transition? No, he's not that player. And again, I think you've started the comment earlier from Matt, I think it was. You'd started this comment about Svante Ingolson. Think he'll be a cracking player for League One. I agree. I also would suggest that Svante Ingolson was signed as a defensive midfielder. Do you remember him being that first game against Plymouth when he signed, and we played that midfield three, and he was at the base of that midfield three with the ability to go long, and actually it was a very fluid and rotating midfield three. Again, he will be a good player for us in League One if he stays. But I would be looking at him and saying, if you're looking to build up what we're all hoping for to happen at the end of the season, he should be a squad player. And that's not a slight or a criticism against him. I just think that the football is too quick for him. Everything happens way too quickly for him.
I think there's quite a few players that are currently playing a lot of football that probably wouldn't have been playing this much football ordinarily, and would have been squad players, rotation players, bit part players, whatever you want to call them, and they're now kind of first team regulars, which is just because of the situation and the scenario we're in. I have seen a lot of comments as well talking about subs and things. We'll talk about that in a second. I've seen also a lot of talk about the penalty as well, and who should and shouldn't take the penalties. We are going to be talking about that a little bit later as well. So we're not ignoring yet. We will get onto it in a second. Just on about playing a good player in League One. There was a comment from Jonathan as well. Which of the current players would you have in League One? We might get onto that in a second. I just want to get onto this one. Do it, boy, forever. All right, mate. Good meeting you Saturday. It's Scott and not Chris. I can't believe I've got it wrong. Sorry, Scott. Apologies, mate. And look, I did caveat that by saying I think I've got this wrong, but look, I thought you were Chris, but anyway, it's Scott. He says, yes, I had a few before. Always pray for Ugbo. All the best, mate. And thanks for the shout out. Appreciate it. So it's Scott and not Chris. There you go. Apologies, mate. Let's talk about these subs. And Darren message said, why does Pedersen bring on subs too late? He cost us today. If he brought on Cooper and Redmond 15 minutes earlier, I can't see the players tiring. I mean, Matt, I don't know how many times we're going to be that we've spoken about this. I don't know if we've spoken about this at all, but it's certainly something that I kind of have been thinking about recently. Like, why are we making 2 subs every game, and why are we making the subs so late? I mean, in this case, the 79th minute, and we went 3-2 down until we actually, made some subs. I know Henrik was actually asked about this on Radio Sheffield in his post-match presser, so if people listen to it, then you'll know the answer. He said that Cooper and Redmond could only play 10 minutes or so. Well, more on that in a second. But and I think he also alluded to kind of some of the youngsters. I think he didn't say in these terms, but reading between the lines, they are just not ready, or they're just not good enough, I think is what he was perhaps trying to get at without actually saying it. I mean, I know we were chasing the game a little bit. I know the game it was 2-2, but it was all Preston at one point. They were a bit of an onslaught. Like they made 4 subs by the hour mark. I know they obviously wanted to get back into it by that point, but we still had the same 11 that is overworked right up until the 79th minute, and just made the 2 subs. I just can't help but think that even though the subs aren't ready, surely they're ready enough to play 20 or 25 minutes, because they're playing alongside other better players. We're not asking for, well, you can't make 9 subs, can you? But we're not asking for just the under-21s just to come on at half-time and play the rest of the game as an under-21 side. My thought and theory is that surely, because they look knackered. Every week they look absolutely bold. You mentioned it yourself. We get to the 60, 70-minute mark. They look not physically tired, just mentally tired. You see people just walking around, for some of the goals like last week against United. Or you see some decisions and defending. You think, they just switched off there. He's not jumped, or he's not whatever he's done. And I can only put it down to him just being tired. And I feel like we could just. I mean, look, what you should do, Enrique, is just put some of the kids on. And then we see firsthand that they're perhaps not good enough, and then we go, all right, okay, maybe we lay off him a little bit. I don't know.
My question is, James, and I do understand, and I do take the point, because it is very clear that after the hour mark, a lot of this squad, especially on 3-game weeks, are gassed, absolutely gassed. Who'd you bring on and for what purpose? Like, I'm all for changes, but Cooper.
It's just a bit of legs, a bit of legs, and
James,
just a bit.
I don't disagree, but. Say, for argument's sake, Michael Cooper is what people will, why hasn't Cooper come on? Well, Henrik cut that dead in the post-match press conference and said he can only do 15 minutes because that's what his fitness side have told me. Now, we've seen chucking Ernie Weaver in, who has arguably been our best defender this season, and he's played a handful of games. You play him too much, he's out for a long time. Okay, cool. Nathan Redmond's been in the door, 2 days, and he's just coming off the back of an 18-month injury. After that, what are the changes that everybody would like to see? Would people like to see McGee, Thornton, Emery, Allo? The game's 2-2. Like, you've got your fittest and most experienced team out there. I get that people are frustrated about it, but let's say he decides to take off Jamal Lowe yesterday. You put an Ike Ugbo on and everybody boos him when he walks on the pitch.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're not going to put him on. We're going to put Yisser Allo on, who's a kid who, if he doesn't get his first touch right, everybody will be at his back, like everybody was last year. I'm all for, I am all for making changes. We couldn't make changes to this squad last year, and we had an extra, 12 players?
Yeah.
Again, I am understanding of that, yes, we should have made changes yesterday. We should have 100% have made changes. But when you go and look at the bench to who we can make changes for and who you are bringing on, what is the purpose of them, aside from it's fresher legs and they can run around a bit?
Yeah, I get that. We're getting cooked in the comments. I think either myself or you've called Liam Cooper Michael Cooper. So cool. I don't know if that were me or you, but they're having a bit of fun in. They're having a bit of fun in there. So we'll just leave them to it, shall we? Yeah. We've got Mini Cooper, Sheldon
Cooper, Cooper Man,
Henry Cooper,
Henry Cooper, Cooper Trooper. I'm liking them.
Keep them coming. How many more Coopers is there going to be?
Yeah, exactly.
Look. I think what it is the solution to the problem is always the players that aren't playing.
Of course it is. He was last year.
The solution to the solution to the penalty miss is play someone else who will 100% score. I think, and I do fall foul of that. I think I keep banging on that the squad's not big enough or good enough, and then I'm asking for all these players to come on and just miraculously hope that something's going to happen. But the thing is, though, it's every single game. We haven't made 5 substitutes, I don't think, in any of the fixtures at all. No. We make 2. We might make 1 right at the death for the final minute. Yeah. I know you mentioned Ernie Weaver and George Brown both being injured, but they were starting games. I'm not asking for all these players that are on the bench to come off and now start. Let's have a look who we got on who did we have on the bench yesterday? Cole McGee, Reece Johnson, Joe Emery. Logan Stretch, I know he's obviously a goalkeeper. Thornton, Yisser Allow. I'm not saying all these players need to start next week against Blackburn, but also as well, he must just not think they are good enough because he's not even giving them 10 minutes. Like, he could have made 5 subs at that point. No, we've gone 3-2 down. Like, I don't know. It's just, I think also as well, there's an element that we've been in quite a lot of the games. The Millwall game, it's 1-0. Yeah. I suppose if you're bringing them players on, unless they are good enough, if they're not good enough and you're just making subs for the sake of making subs, you're not going to get back in the game. But then the other argument to that would be, well, when you're 3-0 down, that's not the environment for them to come on to because you're getting absolutely walloped. You're getting beat 3-0. People would say, well, it don't matter, we're getting beat anyway. How good's that for these young lads' development to come into a side where you're getting tonked because you won't be 3-0 down if not. There's not many games where a team's 3-0 down and not on top. So I suppose we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. I mean, correct. You could caveat that by saying, well, we're not going to stay up. So does it fucking matter whether we win or whether we lose?
James, what you have just said there, because also forget Pierce Charles wasn't a regular starter until this year, and he's out injured as well. The point that again, there is so many multiple different angles that anybody can take a look at and just say, do you know what? Like this, we should be doing this, and we should be doing this, and we should be doing this. Ultimately, in that game at Millwall, if I was an experienced professional player and I'd have seen the game's just gone to 1-0 and I'd have seen us bringing off, I don't know, insert experienced central midfielder here, Jan Valery, for argument's sake. I know he's not a central midfielder, but let's say, for argument's sake, where he was playing. You bring him off and you're bringing on Jarvis Thornton with 60 minutes to go. If I'm an experienced player, I'm looking around and going, what the fuck are you doing? Like, he's one of our better players and you're taking him off and putting on a kid who's barely played. And that's not a criticism at any of the level of that these players are playing at. I'm looking at it and thinking, there is going to come a point in this season where you've just got to go, do you know what, fuck it, they're playing. Because I know we're down, you know we're down, every fucker who ever listens to this will know that we're down at this point. You can't signal that to your side. You cannot do that as a manager. You just can't. And now we're going into a period where we've got no midweek game this week. We then go into a game at Blackburn, it's Watford, and then we're at home, aren't we, to Derby. We've then got Ipswich. We then go into a run of games where we've got 5 games in 14, 15 days or something stupid. We will see these players. We will do. Now, however, is that tipping point where it is going to come, but it's not going to be yet. And it's frustrating and it's annoying, but we all know the reason why we're here. It's the previous owner and his inability to run the club correctly.
Yeah, I get it. Like I said, I suppose it's easy just to say subs cost us because you can't go back and do anything to change it, can you? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's also, I always go back to when, what was his name now? The Matt Penny was one of them, and was the other one, I want to say, Lewis Baker was the other one. I remember at the time, Ash Baker, that was it, sorry, yeah. I remember at the time, there was a clamour for those to play under, Jos Lukai it was, weren't it? Everyone was like, play the young lads, play Matt Penny, get him in the side, get Baker in, And then they played, and they were utter dog shit. And then we were like, maybe that's why I didn't play them then. Do you know what I mean?
And people were rightly also going, what the fuck's he playing for?
Yeah. Like, I suppose you're damned in these situations, as much as we all think that we're better managing than the guy that's in the dugout, just because you took Rushden and Diamonds up to Champions League back in 2001 on Champ Manager, like, we all do it. We all think we're better than we all think, why can't you see we need to make changes and stuff? The difference is, like, we're not in it. We're not there day in, day out with the players. We've not had it in the ear from the fitness guy. Because I was also thinking, like, looking at me watch, what time's Cooper time? You know what I mean? When's Redmond? Signed this kid, looks brilliant on the interview, did a great interview. We're not going to bloody see him. Like, when's he not going to come on? His mother were really pissed off. She'd sorted a stream out, and
Birmingham lad, Birmingham family will be great.
No, she sorted a stream out, and he didn't even come on for until the last 5 minutes.
Stream had froze by the point he'd come on.
I think we're buffering and lot. She didn't even get to see him. But and then obviously after the event, you find out the reasons why, and you think, right, okay, fair enough. I mean, I don't want to touch on that. Yeah, like I said, everyone were, including myself, asking why we're waiting until that point to see these players come on. Yeah, I mean, I presume it's come from the fitness team, the fact that they can only play 10 or 15 minutes. Cooper played 60 minutes last week, 80 minutes against Millwall. I know that he'd come out and said that he wasn't actually going to play against Millwall, but obviously, I thought it'd be Iorfa for the injury, but it looked like it was Palmer that needed to sit that one out for a little bit. And Redmond has played a grand total of 13 minutes in about the last 18 months, which is not ideal, is it, really, when you look at it? I suppose, my question is, like, certainly for Redmond, he's only here till end of January, we presume. It just says January. I presume that is the end of January.
Moment,
yeah. It's 12 games that between now and the end of January. From next, so 13, including the one that we've just played. I mean, how many of them is he actually going to play? I mean, I hope it's all of them, because when he did come on, he looked half decent, even with his little Jamie Vardy strapping that he had on his wrist.
Again, James, I said it earlier. If he had been fit in the last 12 months, this is a player that we couldn't attract to the club last year, let alone this year. Like, there's no way this footballer would be at this football club if he were fit, and that's. I know he's not a world beat. I know he's not fucking Messi. I'm not trying to paint him out as that. I'm saying that this is a player in the last 18 months, which historically has been his quote-unquote prime of his career. That 28 to 30. He's been injured for pretty much all of that. So now it comes down to he's trying to find a club where he's getting back on his feet. I think he'll be here longer than January, is my personal opinion. I don't think there's a fucking sniff of him being here next year. By any stretch of the imagination. He's got, what did you say? He's got 12 games between now and the end of January. Yeah. We will see him play and feature in about 8 of those games. Yeah. And for a signing that's cost us fuck all, like everything else, but for a signing that's costing us very little in wages by the sound of it as well, that is a good deal to see us through to, hopefully, by that point, where there has been an appointed, what are they?
Preferred bidder.
Preferred bidder, that's it, an appointed preferred bidder. And then you would like to see, okay, are we going to offer him a contract? Are we actually going to be able to do something here? Is he actually going to be able to stick around? Ultimately, again, I have no problem with players coming to get fit at us this season, because that is, I know it's a sorry state of affairs, that is kind of the mark of where we are at the minute. And I'll be honest, I mentioned it last week when we talked about the Liam Cooper signing, I am going to be grateful for any player who signs up for this year, because they know they are on a hiding to nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he spoke about that, didn't he, in his interview? Yeah. I think he made no didn't make any excuses about it. Like, just said that, I'm here to get myself fit and play some football, get match sharp, and hopefully, he does that. And John said here, Redmond 12 games and leaves as top scorer. John, I hope you are right. I hope that does. I hope that does happen, and he does. Just like, all I want this season is just a bit something to cheer about, on the pitch. Just something to actually get me off my seat at Hillsborough, to make the journey worthwhile if you've gone to an away game and come away with just a little bit of, whether that's a point, 3 points, or just a goal. I just want some sort of positivity and keep off the pitch seems to be positive, although more of that on extra time. Yeah, exactly. I just want the stuff on the pitch to be as good as well. Let's talk about the goals then. There are 5 goals to talk about. Jeez. And I've even got some highlighted in blue on my sheet, which means it's a Wednesday goal.
And especially for a fucking home game, this is a novelty, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Although, was it someone in the Discord was like, when last time we scored in front at Cop, and then someone were like, game before last against Norwich. Like, oh yeah, forgot about that one. That absolute thunder bastard into the top corner.
Yeah, very forgettable tapping. Forgettable tapping.
Such a forgettable goal. And how can you forget about Sean Faziri's goal as well? But you've not forgot about that one. I bet you watch it every night before you go to bed, don't you, Matt? That goal.
Just took myself in every evening and wake up every morning to it.
Have you asked him for a signed Zimbabwe shirt when he's off to AFCON?
I've not. No, I've not. And
if you're listening, Sean, you'll get. Look, we haven't got the Jan Paveda. He says he'll swap the Jan Paveda shirt out for a signed Sean Faziri Zimbabwe shirt. If you are listening,
they will go nicely next to one another on the wall.
Not picking. It's like trying to pick between your kids, isn't it? Really,
two kids. Yeah, for sure.
Right, let's talk about the first goal then. Barely sat down in my seat, and we were 1-0 up. I mean, look, excellent driving run. First from Palmer down that left-hand side. Then Amas carries the ball on. I thought he was going to go down under that challenger, either on the edge of the box, inside the box, whatever it was. And then the cutback from Amas just shows his ability that he's got. At the time, obviously that's in the opposite side to where I'm sat. I'm screaming for him to just play it across the box for a tap-in. But the vision that he obviously shows to see Mcneill where he was, I mean, he nearly fluffed it, but great technique. I don't even know how he kicked the ball almost backwards from the position that he was in. And then it gets to Mcneill, who just side foots it, caresses it into that top corner. When you watch it as well, if you watch it back on the wide shot, you see, I think it's Palmer and Jamal Lowe. Before the ball gets cut back to him, he controls it, and they both have their arms aloft.
Yes,
they both know it's gone in. Like way before it's gone in. So much confidence in him because they would have looked a bit silly if it hadn't gone in. But I mean, to be fair,
scuffs it.
Yeah, it was one of those, weren't it? Where it's like when the crowd noises were brilliant. When a mask goes past that lad who slides in, it's like a go on, and then it cuts back. It's like go on. Yes! The crowd noise, unbelievable.
I always go back to the Jacob Murphy at home to Barnsley. And do you remember that first home game of the season where there's a clip of it, and it's where Jacob Murphy cuts past his man, and you hear that "go on," and it's not finished yet, and then you hear the straight off. Yeah, James, it's a brilliant goal. Again, the run from Harry Amas, he does very well not to get brought down because on the edge of the area. I tell you what, if he'd got caught by that, we might have been looking at another long-term injury.
Yeah. Well, he did get caught by one a bit later on, actually, to be fair, but yeah.
The lad went absolutely flying in, skates round him, and then just has the presence of mind just to slow himself down in the key moment, pull it back to something that we haven't seen in a long while in a blue and white shirt, in particular at Hillsborough, a player unmarked in the box, hanging back from play. Ball's cut back to him, one touch out his feet, wraps it into the corner. It's a really, really good finish. And the reason why I'm so pleased for his 2 goals yesterday is because I thought he was horrendously unlucky at Millwall with the shot that cannoned back off the crossbar, because that was the only place that he could have put that shot against Millwall, and he's got a very tight window to work with. The only thing that I wish, and I know we'll come on to this later, I just wish he wouldn't live and die by missed chances, because he's very clearly got a lot of ability when he's in the penalty area and the width of the penalty area, because, again, he should have had a penalty on Wednesday. Twists and turns, gets brought down, should have had a penalty. That finish yesterday was the exact reason why every single football club in this country, when he was playing at Man United and scoring, what did he score like? Was it something like 90 goals in a calendar year or something?
It was something absolutely ridiculous, yeah.
I've mentioned it before in terms of my godfather being a scout and being a lead scout at a couple of clubs. Every single side looked at him. Every single side looked at him whilst he was in Man United's youth team. I am delighted that he got the goal yesterday. It was a really good finish. My only criticism is that he ran to the wrong side when he celebrated. If you score at that end, T1 is your destination. You do not go south stand, because you could see when he got there and he's doing all his shrugs and all the rest of it. I'm thinking, is he shrugging to no one?
They were still blowing on the Bovril, just trying to cool that down, as they just sat down in the seats, or someone even in the seats.
There. Yeah, there was no bastard there.
Yeah, exactly.
Great finish, great start.
Yeah, just like I would. Well, yeah, just a bit shocked by it all, really. It's totally unexpected. And look, I'm nothing but honest on here. And again, I had written them off, and that start for me was just, you couldn't get any better, to be honest. Yes. And then we were put firmly back in his box. Just another 6 or 7 minutes later from a set piece. I've just got it up here because, I mean, there's a guy on the edge of the box who was just totally unmarked. They probably thought all their Christmases had come at once. He clearly worked this on the training ground. And, the ball comes over. There's actually a guy there as a bit of a decoy.
Yep.
He's probably thinking he's going to be marked. He wasn't even marked either. No. But he thought, I could fucking take this and have a shot as well myself. Yep. Like the ball came over. Well, I say came over. It was on the floor. Just a simple pass. I mean, to be fair, the decoy does actually drag. I want to say it's Harry Amass. I think it might be Charlie McNeil who kind of runs out, and Barry Bannon's slow to come off as well and close the man down. And it comes to him, and it's a great shot. And they even have, and again, it's a really well worked corner, because they even have the guy in front of the keeper that tries to do some sort of spinning heel kick or something to direct it in. I don't think he gets a touch on it, because it's been credited to Whiteman, who scored the goal. But yeah, I was just so gutted. At that moment in time, I was like, fucking can't have all. As a Wednesday fan, cannot have anything. Like, we've scored a goal. It's almost like you've had your goal
at home.
You've had your fun. Now, fuck off. It's back to normality. 1-1. Like, and where he is scratching his head thinking, when are we next going to score a goal? We actually score one, and then we just give it back. It's just another set piece, Matt, it must be so infuriating for Henrik that just... I mean, that was totally avoidable, that one. Just mark your man. Like, really.
Yeah, I mean, I know you were saying it's a well-worked corner. I personally don't think it is. I think it's a really simple routine where the set-piece coach has realised, do you know what? They don't actually leave anybody on the edge of the area. Every single person is within the width of the goal, and they're from the penalty spot to the goal line. Just pull it back. Like, fine. Like, no issues.
I mean, I'm watching. I don't actually know where the guy comes from when he hits it. I don't know where he starts, because he runs onto it and he's running at some pace when he hits it. So I don't even. I mean, again, I can't recall what actually happened at that point. I don't know if he's come from the halfway line or not. I've no idea where he actually starts his run from. To actually hit it, whether he has come from a long way back or not.
I mean this nicely, James, because obviously set pieces are really in vogue at the minute in terms of, especially in the top division, like the long throw-in has been reinvented, and Arsenal have reinvented the corners and all the rest of it over the last 12 months or whatever. They're not rocket science, the goals that we concede from set pieces, are they? They're really not. Like, it's a ball that's played to the edge of the area and a player just walks onto it and hits it as hard as they can. I know it's a cultured finish where it's guided into the corner. It's really simple. Like, it's not a complicated goal. Again, the moment, and this is, again, I suppose some of the criticism that I do have from the game and kind of Henrik and the tactical approach moving forward, a set piece coach is a fucking must. A proper set piece coach. And you can have one defensively and you can have one for an attacking perspective. We effectively... Is it a third... There was a stat that came out last year, wasn't it, where it was like a third of the goals in the Championship are scored from set pieces.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
All of those teams must fill their quota against Sheffield Wednesday, and Sheffield Wednesday must not have any of that quota filled. It must be people who are performing over those odds. We are appalling at set pieces, and I would include long throw-ins in that. I know a throw-in isn't a set piece. We are so bad at set pieces, both attacking and defensively. It is actually to the point of, like, it will drive you mental if there wasn't all the other stuff that was going on around the football club.
Yeah, I mean, when you say it's not well worked, I mean, I've been watching it back like 3 or 4 times as we've been talking, to be fair. And I think when you watch it, what you have is that guy that's playing as the decoy, the ball looks like it's going to. What he does is he makes our defence part like the Red Sea, because what he does, he draws Charlie McNeil out. And then Svante Ingelsson also just decides just to trot away from like the middle of the goal. Yeah. So that when Whiteman comes onto it, there is literally it's just the goal in front of him. There's no bodies there whatsoever. So I do think we have just literally played into their hands. What they've done, Preston, he said, if we do this is what I want Sheffield Wednesday to do, and we've just literally done exactly what they wanted us to do, and they've executed it. But you are right, though. It's really simple, or they made it look really simple, and that's how easy football can be at times if you kind of know what you're doing, and if you're a bit all over the place like we are.
Sorry, James. Sorry to cut you there. You know, like when we play a short corner, how complicated is it? We play the ball into Jamal Lowe, Bannon has to run round him, we give it to Bannon, Jamal Lowe then has to move about 3 times before to try and find space. By that point, we've been closed down. It's a straight ball to the edge of the box. One player makes a decoy run, one player runs onto it, and it's it. It's not complicated. It's not. It doesn't have to always be something like again, I know we're going to come on to talk about it. The second goal, it's not complicated, is it? It's really not. Like, neither of the goals that were scored yesterday, from the set pieces, are complicated goals.
Yeah, well, Liam says 3 things are certain in life: death, taxes, and Wednesday conceding from a corner twice. Yes, you're right. Yeah. Kevin says, why do we never block shots like that? Every team we play against does. Well, I do agree, but I think there's been some games where we blocked absolutely everything and put us necks on the line. I think it comes down to the defenders who were there, and it's if that's their style of defending. Like Ernie Weaver,
it's an Ernie Weaver task. And again, if I think back to the Birmingham game where he was in front of everything, we still conceded 2. Like we cannot keep the ball out the net.
J Blog says, when we talk set pieces, they are giants compared to our boys. Joel says, doesn't help at corners with Horvath doing the cha-cha slide. And Paul says, didn't we lose a few coaches during the summer of discontent? Yes, we did. A few did just go elsewhere, and you don't really blame them. And J Blog says there were still 2 free headers, though, Joel. Yep, agreed. Right, let's talk about another Sheffield Wednesday goal. Oh my God. Again, we've gone 1-1, and I think, we're going to struggle here. This is where, like I mentioned, we can't have out nice. But then, we went ahead again. Mcneill again. This time it was Palmer with the assist. Once again, Palmer, Amas and Mcneill were all involved. The ball comes out to Palmer, who puts a great ball into the box, right-footed. Yeah. Mcneill, unmarked, header. I think he did have, 2 chances before. I mean, we're only 4 minutes after the equaliser. We're 14 minutes on the clock, and already, Charlie Mcneill was like a dog with 2 dicks, weren't he? Really, he was really up for this one. Yeah. I want to also give a shout out to Cads as well, because his little run to the near post takes 2 defenders with him, and then that means that Charlie Mcneill is totally unmarked, just kind of ghosting, and it's a simple header to go 2-1 in front. I mean, I couldn't believe what we were watching. To be fair, I was like, I mean, again, I did have a when the lineup come out, I did stick a cheeky tenner, 20 quid actually, on Preston to win. By more than 1 goal.
What a day you had yesterday. Chuck down rain, not feeling great, lose 3-2 at home, and you've lost 20 quid on a bet to a side that beat us anyway.
But right, in my defence, Matt, at the time, I'm thinking, I'm going to spend 20 quid every week. This just shows how good I am at on the coupons. I was like, if it's cost me 20 quid, but when's you going to win? That is, at that moment in time, that is more than worth it. I mean, as it happens, obviously, if you didn't know the score, well, we lost. I know it was probably the worst case scenario, because what I had in my head was, because I had them to win by 2 or more goals. So a 2-0 win the bet would have won. A 1-0 win wouldn't have, or defeat, should I say? So in my head, I was like, if it's only 1-0, how badly I thought we were going to perform before, pre-kickoff. I was like, if it's 1-0, I couldn't see us scoring. Mr. Negative. I was like, well, that's a lot better than what I think it's going to be. So I was all right with that. I was all right with what I was thinking. Well, at least the performance will be at least okay. I mean, as it turns out, it was literally the worst scenario ever. Like dangling the carrot of like we are going to win a football match, and then in end I didn't even walk away with any money either.
So fuck all and soaked. Just going back to the goal, James. Yeah, the ball in from Liam Palmer is absolutely exceptional, and the interchange in the play in the build up to the goal is really good as well. That particular move for me epitomised everything that was very good about us in that first half, in terms of there was lots of interchange. Players seemed to be confident and assured in their passes. If I think back to the game last Sunday, we were under-hitting things. Balls were going flying wide of the mark and all the rest of it. There was none of that yesterday. They were playing with a confidence that came from an early goal, which was good to see. You cited Bailey Kadamatri's run. I think Charlie Mcneill does really well to find the space in a very crowded box, in a land of, as people have pointed out before, in a land of giants. He finds acres of space, which is why I think I will continue to advocate, and have been doing so for a while, that he should be playing more minutes. In this current setup, if we can find a player who gets anywhere near the 10-goal mark this season...
God.
No, but he is the only player that I have watched this season and gone, do you know what? He could score some here. George Brown aside, obviously. I think George Brown is obviously a natural goal scorer. The jury is still very firmly out for me on Bailey Cadamarteri. Has been for a while, and I've spoken about that a couple of times. I thought yesterday was a very Bailey Cadamarteri performance. Lots of try hard, key and crucial moments. He has an opportunity to make it 3-1. Doesn't take it. And that is a golden chance in a season where, you know, when we're talking about bad misses, that is a striker clean in from 25 yards out with no pressure around him. Keeper's already telling you what way he's going as well. Keeper's already leaning one side.
Yeah.
You cannot, at this level, you cannot be missing that opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, if he does get double figures, it can be up there with the likes of Gillian and Dumbo and Sungu, who won got the Golden Boot for us in 2003, 2004.
I'll be honest, James. I don't think anybody's getting into double figures this year, but it would be nice to see somebody get close to it this season.
I mean, I'm just looking actually. The worst goal scoring tally to win leading goal scorer in a season for Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
Chris Brunt in 05-06 season got 7.
Yeah,
and that won it. I don't think I'm going to find one. I have, but I've got to go back to 1974-75, which I think is probably one of our darkest moments in the history of the football club. Eric McMurdo scored 6 back then. I mean, but
again, James, I suppose I don't know when George Brown's back. George Brown is a natural goal scorer. Do I think he's a finished article? No, by any stretch of the imagination. But he knows where the back of the net is, and that's been evident in his performances for us. I think Charlie Mcneill has a similar sort of vibe to him, if that makes sense. But he needs to play centrally. He needs to play more central. Playing him out on the right and doing what we did in the second half with him, where he's dropping deep again and he's been asked to play run channels. It don't fucking work. We've seen, 12 months of it, where for 12 months he couldn't get in the fucking team. And this year, when he has played and he's come more central and he's been in opportunities to be central, he has made things happen, which is more than I can say for any other forward aside from George Brown. Yeah,
agreed. Louis says we play better when people give us no chance. I have to agree with that one. When the pressure's off, we do seem to perform.
Yeah.
Dan says, can't say I've ever placed a bet for us to lose ever. Dan, it's not something I'm proud of, mate. But that just it was.
Dan, if you're looking to make some money, you'll make more money than that if you put that on weekly.
It was the banker. It was the one that there was never going to miss. But it did, unfortunately. There was another one as well that I just wanted to read out, but here we go. This is one you'll like. George said, best thing about yesterday was the car registration being read out on the tannoy. Enjoyed it far too much. George, twice as well, the same car. And also, where's the North Stand car park? I'm still...
Do you know the one that I miss, James? The one that I miss, and I've said this before when we were talking about football cliches, is 46 minutes, kick-off happens, ball goes long, bing, bong. All licence bars closed now, please. All licence bars closed now, thank you.
Do you know what? It was actually on about 46 minutes, and I thought that's what was going to come out. So I was mightily disappointed when it was a Hyundai or something.
What was all Zafira registration?
It was a Kia. I think it was a Kia Sportage that someone had not shifted. So
there we go. Jay's got it. Own up. Who owns the white Kia Sportage?
This is what if you've come here for proper analysis, well, you haven't had that at all. What people really want to talk about is the Kia Sportage, and
it's still there now, by the way. It's still there.
Probably is. Yeah. I wonder what was up with it. I'm always curious about these things. Like when that comes out in my head, I'm like, where is it? And what is the problem with it?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? I'm just like the next 10 minutes of Yeah. The next 10 minutes of football are just a blur because I'm not even concentrating. I'm just thinking about this Kia Sportage and what's actually happened to it, you know?
It was one of our young subs with his first car. He's left his lights on, batteries flat, batteries done.
To be fair, I'd have been saying, get up, we're 2-1 up. I'm not missing this. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to move my car. I'm missing a goal here. Like, you know, might miss something happening. As it happened, we went 2-2 and lost 3-2.
Just before we get onto all the really depressing stuff here, have they changed the second half song they come back out to? We came out to yesterday, Are Y'all Ready for This? Which I thought was... I thought that was a big stretch.
Y'all ready for this?
I thought that was a really, really big stretch and a jump. That we're 2-1 up at home. Can we calm down? I'm all for changing the pre-second half music. I don't need the I don't need all of that again.
Yeah,
I did think we can find something a bit more, relatable, perhaps.
To be fair, it could be Pavarotti, but until they change the PA system on the North Stand, it'll sound like utter dog shit, whatever it is. To be honest, look at this, an hour and 15 in, and we're not even at the goals yet. There's so many goals in the
stuff. Then come on.
Yep. Right. Okay. Yep. So we've had our 2 goals. Right. I mean, that. 2-2. I'm not really going to talk about that goal. It's just a corner that comes in. Really simple. All you do is head it across the 6-yard box and then head it in the goal. And then that's it. Yeah.
Gabe Otegbayo looked like he'd had a disconnected controller on FIFA. I don't know where he's going. Like I mean that nicely. And this is, I suppose, the perils of having a young defender. He's ball watching. Yeah. There's no other way to say it because he is following he's following the ball over, thinking, "Oh, I'm going to get there." Then when he realises it's too far, he turns around. It's headed back into the exact spot where he was not 2 seconds ago, and there's a free header from a yard out.
I mean, we can start the whole man marking, zonal debate, discussion and what have you. I'm going to die on this hill by saying that man marking is far, far better than zonal marking.
Just just do your job. Whatever your job is, because we've seen so many errors defensively that it can't just be a system now. It is individual players making individual errors. Because for the header that's put back across, Cads loses him. He goes in with that huge swell of players who are all running into the middle of the box, like trying to I don't know. There's that huge big swell of players who run, and his man just peels off him, and he's watching the ball. He's not watching his man.
Do you know what it probably is? It's probably a team that actually, have got time and stuff to actually work on stuff like set pieces.
You mean they've had a pre-season?
Oh, they do. Yeah, they might have had one of them. Like. They've actually got enough money to have a second computer that the set piece analyst can use instead of Enric using it for booking at hotels and stuff on Trivago or whatever else they're on. I'm surprised we're not sponsored by hotels.com or something, this season.
Host and Stay will be back. Don't worry, they'll be back.
Yeah, problem is he's booking villas in Skegness when we're playing Chuffing Blackburn Rovers. Anyway, let's get on to this penalty then. Let's everyone in the chat has been talking about it. A lot of discourse on the socials as well. I'm not going to talk about the actual penalty. He hits the target. The keeper saves it. Yeah, look. I mean, do you know what? Actually, go on then. On that, keeper dives the other way. Is it still a shit penalty?
Yeah, it's poor penalty.
I always think that a save penalty is always a shit penalty, but do you know, if he goes the other way, you'll go, what did he with eyes there? What vision! Look at how he's done that. He's seen keeper move and he's put it into the corner. When in reality, it was always going to go that way anyway.
I understand what you're saying, James. The reason why I would suggest it's a poor penalty is because it's hit with a lack of conviction. It's not hit hard. Like if it doesn't go in a corner, I've got no problem with that. You've got to hit it hard. Like even if it's side foot, you've got to hit it hard. And it felt like a poor penalty watching it because the keeper's almost, I don't want to say dive past it, but it's at like his midriff, isn't it? He's not. It's
not full stretch, is it?
Yeah, he's not full stretch. It's a poor penalty. Yeah, it's a poor penalty.
The question is, he shouldn't have been taking the penalty. Where do you stand on this? So, I mean, again, for those that were under a rock yesterday, he's scored 2 goals. He's on a hat trick, and we've got a penalty in the second half. This scores 2-2 to make us 3-2 up, and let's be honest, and probably win the game with 15 minutes left to go. I think that probably knocks the stuffing out of Preston. To have come back twice to level it up, to ask them to come back a third time, I think that would probably have been enough for us. I think that's Mcneill's first penalty that he's taken for us. I mean, he hasn't played many games, has he, really? So he's probably not even been in that position.
He took the Bolton one. He took one in the Bolton...
Sorry, first penalty in regular time, where we are in penalty shootouts. Yeah. What's your take on it?
Henrik came out after the game and said that there are 3 designated penalty takers on the pitch. Charlie Mcneill will have been chomping at the bit to take the penalty, which I understand. And the other thing is, he should be fucking applauded for putting his hand up and saying, I'm going to take that. Because the game's at 2-2, and I want to see a young player, which he is, taking responsibility to put the side 3-2 up. I've got absolutely zero problems with that. I've got no problem with him taking a penalty and missing. As I said, I think it's a poor penalty. I'm sure he would say technically it's not the best penalty, but I've got no qualms with him stepping up and taking the penalty. My issue is with the other 2 players who are designated to take it. You would assume one is Barry Bannon. You would assume one is Jamal Lowe. Both of those should have pulled rank and taken the penalty. I said it at the time. I would say it now. I'd stick to it now. From the sheer perspective, James, of I am all for letting a player get his hat trick when we are in a position to be able to let somebody do so.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if he's one of the 3 designated penalty takers, unless they're in 1, 2, and 3 in a position, if they're just equal, or are they 1, 2, 3? In which case, unless Charlie Mcneill's number 1, then I suppose maybe whoever's the 2 and 3, whoever is number 1 should be taking it. I think for me, I've got to look at it and think scored 2 goals will be high on confidence. I think you saw that anyway. I think there's a lot of talk about confidence players, and I think I think all players are confidence players. To be fair, why wouldn't you be? I think Jamal Lowe had an effort about 5 or 10 minutes before. I want to say it's before the penalty. It must have been. Yeah. That ball still, if it wasn't for the roof on the cop, that ball would still be going up now. Yeah. It was a poor effort. So we're asking him to perhaps step up and take a penalty. And then you ask Barry Bannon, who has missed 3 of his last 4 penalties in open play for Sheffield Wednesday. So for me, I didn't have any problem with him standing up and taking that penalty. And I think most people, when he stood up, I did think he's going to miss. But that's nothing on him. That's just on
Wednesday-itis.
Yeah, that's just. I've been saying it a few times already. We can't have all as a Wednesday fan, and I was like, it's absolutely nailed on that we lose this game. Yeah. Like, in the way, the position we find ourselves in, and obviously, lo and behold, that's what's happened. And just because of, it's just what happens. It's just what happens to us. But I didn't have any problems with him standing up, and I was, I think the reaction to it. It goes back to what we were saying about the solution to the problem is always the thing that didn't happen. You know, so the solution would have been Jamal Lowe or Barry Bannon take it, but he didn't miss the target. I know you said it was a poor penalty. He's not skied it like. I think it's a different scenario to the Ugbo one where we've given Ugbo the penalty to boost his confidence. I think he's the informed player on the pitch. For me, he's already hit the back of the net twice. Just do it again, son. I don't know. I don't have a problem with it personally, but it just is what it is.
I understand the point, James, but again, this to me epitomises people not learning their lessons.
Well, who takes the next one then? So we get a penalty. It's the same players are on the pitch against Blackburn on Saturday. We get another penalty. Who's taking it?
Jamal Lowe. For me, every single time whilst he's on the pitch, I know people don't like him and he doesn't run around. I get that, and I get people don't like him as a footballer. I want him taking penalties. I've seen Barry Bannon take penalties. I've seen Barry Bannon score penalties. I've seen Barry Bannon miss penalties.
Scored 4, missed 3 in Sheffield Wednesday.
But again, we've still got a positive record there. If I'm looking at Jamal Lowe, I'd much rather Jamal Lowe have taken that penalty yesterday. My criticism, and it's because the players are experienced and that they can handle it, is it should have fallen to them. One of them, and I mean this again, James, I do understand the point of he's an informed player, he's the one who's on a hat-trick, he's the one who scored 2 games, he's the one who's playing well. When the ball is placed down on the spot, and I mentioned this to you earlier, when you watch the extended highlights, you see it. You know, normally when a player is taking a penalty and they're calm and composed about it, they've slowed their breathing down, they've calmed themselves down. Charlie Mcneill is breathing at 200 mile an hour. He's like he cannot wait to hit the ball. Somebody, because Ingelsson holds the ball, don't they? But it's very obvious that Ingelson's not going to take it, and he's just stood a yard.
Bannon should have had it, shouldn't he? Really, like if anything, or
100%. Like get it, put it down on the spot, then swap it with McNeil. He walks down, takes it. You got a lot of time to set yourself and steady yourself. My issue is with the experienced players on the pitch not learning their lessons. We had this situation last year, and I take the point that Ike Ugbo was in a different position where he was given the penalty where perhaps he didn't want it. But guess what? He hit the target, he still missed. And I'm going to this point here from Duran Roberto. If it goes in, nobody complains, but it didn't. And that, well, I can understand that for some people it will be an absolute non-starter. And again, I cannot stress this enough. I commend him for stepping up and taking the penalty. I really do. I would much rather have an experienced professional to get your first home win. Bear in mind, we've had 6 of the bastards in the last 18 months. 6 of them. Experienced professional takes the penalty to put your side 3-2 up. Then you make the changes. You bring on Liam Cooper. You chuck on Nathan Redmond to run people into the corner. Guess what? As it turns out, McNeill misses the penalty. He's then trying, because I know we're going to come on to the other goal, he's then trying everything way too hard for the rest of the game, trying to make up his error. You could see him after the penalty was missed. He's like scratching his head. He's holding his head in his hands. The minute that Preston score, he's got his head in his hands. Full time, he's like lied down flat on the floor, head in his hands. That there is no way he should have been put in that position because of the other 2 penalty takers on the pitch. You can't honestly tell me that the other 2 penalty takers were more inexperienced than him.
I think he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. Like in himself, it's what an opportunity to score a hat trick. He's probably, it will be his first one in his professional career. And, he's on 2, we get a penalty. If he doesn't take it and Barry Bannon puts it in, he'll be kicking himself thinking, fuck it, like, do you know what I mean? If you I suppose actually, we're saying I'm commending him for taking it. He probably didn't have a choice, really. Like everyone's probably looked at him, like
correct.
Do you know what I mean? And gone like, it's yours to take. He might have not actually wanted to take it if do you know what I mean? And then I suppose we all hammer Jordan Rhodes for not stepping up and taking a penalty, but actually, like if you don't feel confident, you want someone confident to step 100%. Up and take it, don't you? So actually, maybe just totally wild statement here, but maybe we should commend Jordan Rhodes for perhaps not taking one for standing up. I mean, look, at the time you are absolutely berating him, going fucking hell, £10 million for someone.
But there is a massive difference there, James, between a £13 million marquee signing who scored goals for fun at this division and a 21-year-old lad who scored his first 2 professional league goals in a game when you've got players who have been playing this game for over 15 years. I'm just going to come up to this one here with Jimmy said, what will you say if Jamal Lowe misses penalty or McNeill should have taken it? Get over it. No, I wouldn't say that. I'd have said it's an experienced player. I'd much rather have him taking a penalty.
Well, I've looked though. Jamal Lowe's only taken 5 penalties in his career.
Scored them?
4.
Exactly.
Missed one. He actually scored one against us when they beat us 3-0 at their place against Devis Vazquez, of all people.
I'd much again, and I suppose I sit with this here with Michael. Agree, let sentimentality regarding a hat-trick happen if we're over the line. But it's a lot of pressure for somebody who's trying to establish themselves in a team. And that's where I'm coming to. It's not a criticism on the player for missing the penalty. It's a criticism on the senior professionals in the side who were also the designated penalty taker for not pulling rank. Yes, he'll be pissed off. Yes, he'll be annoyed. Yes, he'll be thinking, oh my God, I should have had that. I'd have scored it. Good. I want him being angry. I want him being annoyed. I want us also to be 3-2 up so that everybody could have gone home. No, because it's not going to save us from relegation, but actually to send everybody home from Hillsborough for once with a fucking win.
Yeah. Let's quickly talk about the third goal then, because we are running out of time. Typical Wednesday, we missed the penalty, and then virtually the next attack, they've got the ball in the back of the net. I mean, I have to question some of the defending, but I think it does come down to the fact that maybe the penalty misses knocked the stuffing out of us, and also they are bollocks. I think, yeah, I think.
So insert their bollocks after 60 minutes for everything that they're for.
The reason why have you conceded? Fucked. I think Fazier's a little bit unlucky. I think he gets a little bit close to his man. If I'm being honest, his man that shouldn't have been on the pitch. Let's just say we haven't even spoken about that. Maybe that's one for extra time. It probably gets too tight for him. I think Jamal Lowe just gives up. If you watch him, he's just walking. I think he could probably get to the man that's unmarked on the edge of the box who the ball gets laid off to, and then we just give him all the time in the world to pick his spot. It's a good strike. I think again Horvath could probably get down a little bit quicker to it, maybe, but. Just a dagger to the heart, weren't it, really? And in a game that showed a lot of promise, opportunities where we were actually thinking we were going to win a football match. And then we walk away, it's 3-2, and that was just, well, when we're talking about the penalty potentially knocking the stuffing out of Preston, that well and truly just, there was no way we were coming back from that, from my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's criticisms to be had in terms of the way that we defended it. I think it's exactly what it's exactly what modern footballers are told to do, isn't it? Which is reverse the ball back through people's legs because the keeper's not saving it. It's a good finish. Preston are a top 6 side currently. If you told me that we'd run them that close pre-game, I'd have probably laughed at you with the starting 11. It was just a crying shame that, and again, I'm getting very used to, as a Sheffield Wednesday fan this season in particular, taking my medicine. Because I know that actually, do you know what? Hopefully, in the next couple of seasons, I'm not going to have to swallow many more results like this, is the honest answer. Because this season, there are going to be a lot more of those heartbreaking moments where you go, oh, that's fucking sod's law, that we miss one and then go straight at the other end and they score. Is what it is.
Yeah, I thought we were going to be talking about a win. I thought we were going to be I'd have put my party dress on if we had done. Don't click. Yeah. I haven't got a party dress. So when we win next week against Blackburn, don't be expecting anything different. This is about as best you're getting with the. I'm on the warm check. I'm all right, to be fair. I'm not too bad. Just check the brow. I'm not sweating my tits off like I thought I would be. So we're all good. Right, let's wrap things up there. I haven't even look. Actually, what I will do, let me do the 3-word match review because I think that's a bit rude if I don't do that. I'll do the 3-word match review. Then we'll nip over to Patreon and talk about. The bubble that has burst in terms of positivity around the football club. Also, whether we'll talk about whether the possibility we're going to finish on minus points at the end of this. It's all positive stuff over on extra time. We might touch on how we think the Blackburn game is going to pan out as well. But let me do the 3-word match reviews then at WTID Pod if you want to. Put them in. Don't do it now because I won't be reading it out. But obviously for next game, of course. Stuart's gone with Horvath is useless. Chilts, Bannon takes pens. Neil says Bannon on penalties. Paul Pashley's gone with subs too late. Matt, ridiculous penalty choice. Everyone's on the penalties. Alison says football is cruel. Ross wants the season to end now. Pete says Pedersen licks wind. I can't read it. I should have read that one out, should I really, to be fair. Alex says we are cursed. Paul, same old story. Tom Wainwright's given me about 7 3-word match reviews. Angry as fuck, played really well, can't miss those, concede too softly, XG through roof, are we jinxed, Preston robbed 3, and then he's finished it up with for fuck's sake. It's like a little poem, that one, Tom.
That is, yeah, it's haiku.
It is, yeah. James has gone with started so well. Fox Allow's gone with Pedersen won't last. Aaron, the Wednesday way. Kevin, improvement, exciting and unlucky. And Karen says subs on earlier. Right, let's wrap things up there. If you want to continue listening to myself and Matt, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/WTID pod. or actually, let me just get the link, and you can get 2 months free because it's Black Friday after all. So if you just
Cyber
give me
Monday tomorrow as well, James. Keep it going.
I need to stop it at some point. But if you're over on YouTube, there's a link there. There's not that many available, so fill your boots, and we'll see you. The link is over there. We'll see you over in about 10 minutes, just enough time for me to potentially have a wardrobe change, and Matt to fill his bottle of water up. So thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you then. Cheers.